Welcome back to the Third Stringers podcast. Today we're talking all of the summary of the NBA draft. We're going to talk about our biggest steals, the biggest surprise of the draft, the best two-way contracts we saw, some draft grades for the young teams, and then we're going to get into James Harden requesting another trade and all that. So here we go.
We're not the starters. We're not even the backups. This is the Third Stringers podcast.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. I am now your host for this episode. As you can see, Noah's not here. I am Justin. With me is Paige, our in-house NBA draft guru. So I'm going to be asking her a bunch of questions about the 2023 draft, how it went down, some of the biggest upset, surprises, all that fun stuff today. So how'd you feel about the 2023 draft?
I think so. I was actually on a plane watching it. Everyone else was watching it, so it was like our own little draft party on the plane, I guess. But I mean, it was long. It was like 4 hours, which is like typical, but it just seemed like to drag on.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and like I feel a lot of guys should have went higher. I think there was a ton of steals in the draft. Some guys went a lot higher than I anticipated. One guy that slipped a lot was Cam Whitmore. I know.
You were so high on Cam Whitmore, and he was dropped to what, 20?
So, yeah, for the Houston Rockets. So, for you guys that are just tuning in and like maybe didn't like know who Cam Whitmore was beforehand, he was a 6'8" wing out of Villanova, 6'8", like 230 pounds, like just like a huge dude that can basically just like drive to the rim in any way possible. Has like some shooting touch, but like the thing with him that teams don't really like is that can he play team basketball? Because his assist numbers weren't really there. He didn't really show any like gauge of actually like wanting to pass. But like the thing is, Villanova was not even good this year.
That's true.
So like you have the way assists work is that you pass it and they actually have to score.
Yes.
So, yeah, Villanova was not good this year. Cam Whitmore was a top 10 guy on a lot of media outlets, national media outlets, draft boards. And the reason he fell is because his medicals didn't come back the best.
Oh, okay.
His knee scan was very, very bad, I guess. But there's been guys in the past that have, not had the best medicals, but have turned out to be great players.
That's true.
Some people think he's going to turn into Brandon Roy. I hope not. I mean, Brandon Roy was awesome.
He's a good player. He was a good player. Yeah.
But Lonzo Ball, I mean,
yeah.
I hate that.
That's scary.
You never know. I mean, Lonzo might not even play basketball again.
Yeah.
And he was a second pick in 2016 draft.
He was a good player, too, while he was playing.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't terrible.
He was solid, yeah. But I think the Rockets got a steal with him at 20. I mean, for his skill set. And, like, I mean, his knee doesn't look – it's never really hurt him. Like, it's never been, like, noticeable. Like, okay, so Bryce Sensabaugh, he actually had knee surgery. He had to get knee surgery.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. So he's not going to play in Summer League because he's getting knee surgery.
Yikes.
And he was a lottery pick for most of the draft cycle. He also – his medicals weren't the best either. I mean, he fell to 28 for the Jazz. He's not playing in Summer League. The Jazz also got Taylor Hendricks at 9. I thought Taylor Hendricks was going to go way higher.
Really? What'd you have him at?
Like, I had him at 7.
Oh, okay.
So, like, a little bit higher. But, I mean, he was right there for the Pistons.
Yeah, that's true. I like the Pistons pick, though.
Or the Magic.
The other Thompson twin.
I like Asar. Yeah, I like Asar, too. But, I mean, I think Taylor is, like, one of the safest picks in the draft.
Okay.
I mean, he has the height. He has the shooting touch. He shot, like, 40% from 3 on, like, 5 attempts per game at 6'9", as, like, a 4 guy.
Yeah, that's nice.
And, like, he had – what was his stat? I think he was, like, the only player, a Division I player to have, like, 60 dunks, 40 three-pointers, and, like, 50 blocks. Like,
okay. So
the dude's crazy.
That is a safe pick. I think with the draft, it's you have the first, top 10 or whatever. Yeah, you try to go pretty safe. And anything after that, you can take a risk. I don't know if I would be comfortable taking a risk with someone's health. like with
Yeah.
Whitmore. Like if I hear someone's knee is bad, I'm less hesitant than if someone has maybe a rough shot or needs to learn to pass a little bit better. Something like that you can kind of fix, but you can't really heal someone, you know? You could try.
Yeah. And, like, the thing is, like, maybe they recover from it or maybe they beat the odds and do it, but, like, you don't know. Like, half the draft is, like, taking a chance on the highest upside guy.
Yeah.
Like, and hopefully they, like, turn out, right? Because NBA teams just love having, like, a project and kind of, like, molding them.
That's true.
I think a lot of people were surprised that the Magic took Anthony Black at 6. Because, you know, they're just guard university
Yes,
over
they are.
there.
They
have
need to
Jalen
get
Suggs.
someone other than a guard.
Yeah. But I think what they're hoping is that Anthony Black can shoot it.
Okay.
I think they're hoping he has a lot more upside there. And I think he can. I mean, I believe more in his shot than Amen's.
Yeah, I agree.
Amen's is disgusting.
His is pretty rough.
There was, like, a video of him today, like, working out with Cam Whitmore. And, like, the guy, like, changed it every single time he shot. Like, it's awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like, hopefully the Rockets can change that. But, like, he's going to have to at least know how to shoot a little bit.
Yeah.
If he's going to have, like, a long career.
So what would you say was the biggest surprise? Was it Cam Whitmore's fall or was it something else? Was
I
it
think
Victor going number 1?
Oh, yes. I thought he was going to go 2.
Yes.
So, I know, did Krotz say that he thought Brandon Miller was going to go 2?
I think me and him both said,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's a better fit for their team.
It is. I know a lot of Hornets fans don't want Miller there, though. Like, they're, like, booing him at bars.
Which is so
like,
weird because it's like...
He
it's
could
not
be a
like he's
star.
Yeah, he's not a bad
Yeah.
player. I wouldn't put him as, like, a level of, you know, the A-list tier of recruits coming up through the draft, but he's a great player. He deserves to be a top 3 player, so...
Yeah. I think it's more of, like, they maybe like Scoot's personality more.
Which
and,
is
like,
fair.
maybe
He has that media training in him that he can respond well and kind of get the fire going for everyone's.
Yeah.
So that's what I really like about Scoot.
So do I. I mean, him and Dame, if Dame stays.
Yeah, that's its own topic.
A whole nother episode or,
Yes.
like, 2 episodes.
We could talk about Damian Lillard for weeks.
Oh, God. And then, I think that or, I mean, there was, like, some, like, sneaky trades here and there. Like, the Wizards traded their 7th pick. Or traded Jarris Walker to the Pacers.
Yes.
The Pacers took Bilal Coulibaly. I didn't think Bilal was going to go that high. So
I thought I didn't know much about him going in the draft, to be completely fair, but I knew he wasn't supposed to be up that high.
yeah.
And then they took him. I was like, oh well, you know, I mean, he plays with Victor. Kind of do whatever. See what
I think people thought, like, his ceiling was, like, 10.
Yeah.
I think the Wizards, I mean, they're just trying to get the highest upside players available, I think.
Yeah.
With Bradley Beal leaving and, like, obviously Porzingis is gone now. So they're just completely, like, rebuilding. And Bilal is a guy that, like, he played with Victor. He's also only 18, 6'8" with shoes, 7'3" wingspan. It's just, like, I think they're trying to hope, like, he's maybe, like, a 2 or 3 for them. His shot isn't all the way there, but, like, it's improved, like, steadily throughout the season. He's very, very athletic. I think he shot, like, almost 70% at the rim.
Wow.
In, like, France's top league,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
That's impressive. The
Yeah.
craziest thing is that I think he was the youngest one in the draft. Maybe I'm wrong on that. He was.
GG.
Oh, you're right.
I guess we could talk about GG.
Okay, what would you like to say about him?
So, where did he even go again? Oh, yeah.
I think he was, like, 30?
the Grizzlies.
Around the 30s?
45.
Oh, really?
45.
I was off.
So, Gigi, I mean, everyone had a lot of high hopes for him. Like, I think people had him at one point, like, solid lottery pick.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, he's 6'9", can handle, dribble, pass, shoot. Not so much pass, but, like, with Villanova, too, like, South Carolina was very, very bad. The guy just, like, could not score if, like, Gigi didn't have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
But, like, he's just very young, and it shows. I mean, he's had a lot of, like, immature things that have happened. Like, something happened on Instagram, and then, like, his coaches had to sit him, and, like,
Yeah, that's
it
kind
was
of...
declining workouts and, like, a lot of other stuff on, like, social media, and, like, didn't perform well at the combine and stuff, and, like, kind of just like a letdown. And like to be a lottery pick, I know one guy like on draft Twitter had him at 5.
Wow.
Which is, he's either gonna look like a genius in a few years or like bad.
Or it's like, well, what were you thinking? he's gonna be out of the league in 2 years. So yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like
I mean, immaturity is kind of
yeah.
weird because like, you're going NBA, national television, you're gonna be in the spotlight. But in his case, he's probably gonna sit the bench for a year or two if he even makes the team at all, depending on how he does in the summer league. So I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing that would be something I would gamble on if I was a team. Maybe you get a star out of it.
Yeah, and like the Grizzlies are a good spot for him because they love to like stash talent away in the G League, like Kenny Lofton, Jake Laveria.
I don't know
That's
how
how
to
you say his last name.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, they perform good in the G League. Like the Grizzlies love to like take their time with their guys and not like just stash them away and like never play. Like the Warriors are an awesome organization, but like Steve Kerr didn't play like Patrick Baldwin Jr. or Kuminga really, or even Wiseman.
Wiseman was a weird scenario too, yeah, and he traded him away. Yeah.
Exactly. So I respect the Grizzlies for at least not like being like other organizations and be like, okay, you have to be a star now.
Yeah.
Like they take time and it shows with their guys because it's a lot of like gritty players. But Gigi needs to show that he has that in him because he does not.
Yeah, it's kind of you bringing that up. It's weird that the Warriors don't take their time. They have arguably the greatest guard of all time. They had a great core. They could have kept Kuminga, Wiseman, kind of like as role players and developed them more. But yeah, I have a feeling Kuminga's going to be going
gone.
soon. Jordan Poole's gone. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So they got Chris Paul.
That's such a strange. They're going for another win this season, and then Kerr's going to be gone.
Oh god.
Steph's probably gonna be gone. Chris Paul's gonna be gone.
Everyone just retires.
Pretty much. I feel like that has to be the mindset. Just trying to win one in the next 2 years and then be done.
Yeah, and get one for Chris Paul and call it good.
Good.
But their draft, so like they took Brandon Podziemski with the 19th pick.
Okay.
I thought he went way too high. A lot of people liked him a lot. So he's a 6'6" guard out of Santa Clara, where Jalen Williams, that plays for the Thunder, is out of.
Gotcha.
But Brandon, he transferred from Illinois, so he was in the class of 2021. He transferred because he wasn't playing. Brad Underwood and I guess Tim didn't have like the best relationship. Okay. So he transferred because he's like, oh, like this guy went, he was a lottery pick in the draft, like whatever.
Yeah.
He's an awesome shooter. He's a little like stubby. Does that make sense? Like.
Yeah, I understand. He doesn't have the length to him. Yeah.
He does not look 6'6" at all.
Yes, I agree with that. At all. He looks stout.
Yes. And like a lot of people are saying like he's the next like Nico Manning.
That's a good comparison.
He does look like him.
Look like
him. Yeah. But the thing with him is that he's such a creative passer. And he can rebound the shit out of the ball.
Okay.
Like he averaged I think 18 points and 11 rebounds as a guard.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
He shot 37 points. And given the WCC, the West Coast Conference is not the best.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they have Gonzaga, but that's literally it.
Yes.
So, take it with a grain of salt, but obviously the Warriors think, he can become into something like Steph or Jordan Poole, replacement for Jordan Poole.
Yeah, just a
or whatever.
High volume scorer and work hard. Yeah.
And learn under Steph, I think. And then they took Trace Jackson Davis out of Indiana.
Yes, I remember that.
With, what pick was it? It was really low. I did not think he was going to go that low. 57. So he was almost the last pick in the draft.
Damn.
And he tweeted out, he's like, y'all are going to regret
Yeah,
this.
I remember that. He's like, you'll remember.
Yeah, and I think the Warriors are a great fit for him. I was one they need, he's not your true big, he's 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
So he gives them a little height, but not as a true rim protecting big.
Yeah.
Which they still, they have Kevon Looney, but
if they don't get Draymond back, they're kind of lacking in that area.
Yeah. So I think he's a good pickup. He's also a great passing center. I think he averaged 20 points, 10 or more rebounds, and 4 assists as a big, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's also good.
But yeah, a lot of people had him going at least top 35. So for him to drop that much, you're like, is something like wrong with him, or like what's
what's the
on?
reason? Yeah, interesting.
So I don't know. So that was like one of my surprises, because like I think his skill set should have been like way valued more, like in that kind of range of the drafts, like to almost not even be drafted.
Yeah,
Amani Bates was taken over him.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. How'd you feel about Amani Bates being drafted at what, 45 something?
Yeah, 49 Cavs.
49, yep, to the Cavs.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
Yes.
I hope he like does well in summer league.
Yeah, I hope he goes off.
Yeah. Can you imagine like 30 points?
That'd be crazy. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. And then he makes the roster, actually plays. That'd be cool. And I think it's really good for him that he's somewhat close to home, right?
Yes,
3
I
hour,
think so
4 hour drive.
Yeah.
He needs to be close.
And like Darius Garland might get traded.
Oh really? I hadn't heard any of.
I saw like the Cavs like interested in seeing like offers. I'm not sure like what he particularly would like go for.
I don't know why would they try to trade him? What do they need? I feel like the Cavs have a really solid lineup.
Same, they got Mobley, they got Allen, they have Amani, obviously now.
Obviously, Donovan
Garland.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Karis LeVert.
They have a great line.
Karis LeVert's awesome. I love him.
I love him too.
I loved him at Michigan.
He had the heart injury, right? That was it him or was it Tim Hardaway Jr.? No, it wasn't Hardaway Jr.
Oh no, that was the guy that was in. Oh wait, I don't know.
I think it was Karis LeVert. He was in the Nets and they were trading him to.
Oh okay.
And then they were afraid. The reason they caught his heart condition was because of the trade, because they did a physical. So they're like, oh, this isn't good. Then he like went into surgery or something. I think it was Karis LeVert. Hopefully, I got that right.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. I think I hear like something about him.
And to come back from that and still play and do a decent job, like.
Yeah. So we'll see how. I think Amani can at least get like some minutes. I mean, he probably will play in the G League most of the time, but I mean, at least he got drafted.
That's true. So. That's very true. All right, so who would you say best two-way contract or undrafted?
So I would say Demoy Hodge.
Okay.
So he played
real quick, I want to preface, I'm not going to know any of these people, so you're educating me as well as the audience.
Okay. So for Justin and Demoy Hodge, or not Demoy Hodge, he knows who he is. The audience. So Demoy Hodge, he was a grad transfer from Missouri, so he played at Cleveland State. He'll be 25 in December, so he's pretty old.
Damn, that's okay. You're calling me old. I'm gonna be 25 in December.
But I mean, for an NBA guy, like as a rookie, like pretty old, right?
Old rookie. Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that.
Yeah. But so he's 6'4". He led the SEC in steals at 2.8 per game. Shot 40% from 3-point range on 7 attempts.
Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, and he's very like crafty too, good in the pick and roll. He's not like flashy by any means, but he's a good like cutter and slasher, and like he can move off the ball pretty well. He went to the Lakers, which I think is a great pickup.
Yeah, that is a good pickup.
You know, adds shooting. Obviously he'll probably play for like the South Bay Lakers, right, in the G League, but like a good piece if they, are struggling to shoot the ball. Okay, Demoy, come on.
Yeah. Get a quick couple off the bench or something.
Yeah, and like he can make winning plays for them at the guard spot. Like if they need a steal, put the guy that led the SEC, because the SEC is not easy to play in.
No, they've been a better competing conference the past few years for sure.
Yeah, and to like lead them as like a 24-year-old, so that just says a lot about him. So I like that pickup. Another one I liked was Colin Castleton out of Florida. He was playing at Michigan. 7-foot guy. He's also going to the Lakers. So, like, I mean, the Lakers have, like, the best scouting department in the NBA. Yeah. Really.
They can pay for it,
especially with undrafted kids. Yeah. Especially with, like, undrafted, like, hidden gem guys and stuff like that. So, the people they actually drafted, like Jalen Hood-Schifino, Max Lewis, like, they're going to give them more shooting and, like, depth on the wing and, like, the point guard spot. Because I guess they're going to keep D'Lo.
Yeah, I personally like him. I think he just kind of got into his own head during the playoffs.
He did not play good at all.
Up until like the second round of the playoffs, he was a great player for them. 15 points a game, and then during that first round of the playoffs, he was doing very well. And then something just flipped the switch, and he just kind of tanked. And then the Lakers fan base is very unforgiving, so I'm sure that was part of it as well.
Yeah. I would not want to be like, I would like want to play for the Lakers, but at the same time, no, because if I had a bad game, I'd have like people at like my door, like wanting like my head.
That is true. Them and the Celtics, I feel like, and Philadelphia.
Oh God, yeah. So I think those two are one. I mean, Colin Castleton just gives you like a big backup for like Anthony Davis, and he can also like pick and pop too, which like AD can do.
He kind of reminds me of
and can pass pretty well too.
Zubac that they used to have on the team.
Yeah.
I think he's on the Clippers now.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. Just a big body that can help facilitate, but not to the level of Jokic, you know.
Yeah. I think so too. So those are like just like my two guys that I had.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go draft grades for the younger teams. We'll do like the up and coming teams: the Magic, Jazz, Rockets, Thunder, Pistons. How are you? Oh, and the Spurs, of course. How are you feeling about them? We'll start with the Spurs because of Victor.
Okay. So I'm gonna say A.
Yes.
A plus. I mean, they got a generational talent.
Yeah. They couldn't have missed on that one.
No. If they would have drafted like someone else, like, oh God.
Yeah.
But so they also added City Sissoko with the 44th pick. So he played with Scoot at the G League Ignite. 6'8", like a pretty built dude too. Like not skinny at all. Like can handle his own. Awesome passer. Like not to the level of like Scoot's vision, but like for a 6'8" like guy at the wing, like he can make some pretty tough reads. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has to work on his shot. It's not like quite there. But he's good at finishing at the rim and like cutting. He's like a slashing guy that can pass, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
So like good piece for Victor.
Okay, yeah, it's a good. Yeah. If I'm the Spurs, I'm thinking, how can we build around Victor right now? And that sounds like another option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to go? Oh no, you go.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say I love Victor's personality.
Yeah.
Like, he even knew he was going to go number one, obviously, but, like, he was, like, balling.
Yeah. It was really cool seeing him, like, when they were doing, like, the interview on the side.
Yeah.
Like, just the excitement he had for being there. And, like, I think he's
so humble.
Yeah, he's humble, one. Two, he seemed very excited to go to the Spurs, which is always nice to have that relationship start out strong. And then another point is I believe he already opted out of the FIBA World Cup, which people were expecting him to play in, and he's like, no, I want to prepare for my rookie season. Like, this is what I'm doing now. And I think that's a great sign too, as you know, you pick your number one generational talent. He can go do whatever he wants, but he wants to start working and get his nose to the grindstone, and I'm sure he wants to meet the team, start working with Popovich. So that to me would be amazing if I'm a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he has, like, you can just tell, like, he's built for this. Like, he has that character, and, like, I think he's going to, like, achieve everything that people think he's going to be, like, injuries aside.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he might play in Summer League, which would be, like, huge because not most guys like him or number one picks play in Summer League because, like, why?
Yeah,
right?
Don't risk it, 'Cause I remember when Pistons picked Cade, he played in the Summer League and he, like, tweaked his ankle or something.
Oh, God.
So, like, what do you do? It's, like, cool that he wants to do it, but, like, just save it. Like, we don't need you to get injured.
Yeah, so I would give them an A+, obviously. Next team. So I know some Magic fans were like, what I was talking about before, like kind of confused. Like, oh, like why Anthony Black?
Another guard, yeah.
But like he gives you height. He's 6'7", 6'8". So he gives like you plus positional size at the guard position, which they don't really have because yes, Franz can play like the one, but he's better kind of as like a two.
Yeah. He's an
like Anthony
player.
is like a true point guard. Like he may be a true point guard, and like for him to facilitate for Franz, for Paolo, just opens up stuff way more than last year. And like I personally think like they're one of the best like rising young teams.
Okay.
I mean, Paolo Rookie of the Year, Franz. I think he's so underrated.
Yeah, Franz is underrated. I think Franz, in my opinion, is definitely better than his brother was, and he reminds me of he looks like a more athletic Duncan Robinson almost.
Yes.
Like, that's what I take from him, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. And like the Magic are kind of like the Michigan team. You know, they got Jet with the 11th pick, got Caleb Houston and Franz. Like, just like getting everyone there. I know a lot of people wanted Grady, But, like, obviously, I mean, they could have took Grady, but Grady fell to the Raptors, which I think is a good fit for him. I mean, the Raptors need help, too.
Yeah, the Raptors are a weird team right now.
They are a weird team. Like, they should be really good.
Yeah.
Like, they should have been pretty good last year, but they just weren't.
Yeah, Fred was in a weird, like, up and down slump coming back. And then I know they went all in with, Siakam and Kawhi during that team. Now it's just Pascal that's left out of that championship team. I think he might be the only one still left. So
yeah,
they're just kind of in a weird spot where they have Siakam's a star. Right? He can score 25, 30 a night. But what else do you have around him to support it? So,
well, Scotty was kind of up and down.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, his defense was, like, not the best this year, which is, like, you're, like, 6'8" and can, like, move, like, a point guard.
Yeah. And then they
like, what are you doing?
I know they have OG too, right?
Yeah, OG Anunoby.
He's okay.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. But I don't know. They're not bad enough to where it's like a full rebuild like the Magic or the Pistons, but they're kind of in that in between spot.
Yeah, I agree. And, like, with Jet, like, he slowed down, like, towards the half of the year because he had a lingering ankle issue. So, like, a lot of people just thought he was, like, sucking.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, he was, like, averaging, like, 20 points, like, shooting, like, 37% from 3, and then he drops, like, 30. He's just, like, only putting up, like, 10 points a game. Like, oh, my God, what's going on? Da, da, da. And that's how, like, Kobe Buffkin kind of emerged, which I didn't see him. I mean, he went to the Hawks at 15.
Yeah, he went pretty high, I thought.
Yeah. I think Jet's a good piece for them. I think he also can, like, offer a lot more, like, on the dribble juice for them, too, and, like, offers that shooting aspect. And, like, I think, personally, like, Jet can create more of his own shot off the dribble than Grady can. I think Grady's better kind of just running more off ball and, like, getting open that way. Mm-hmm. But Grady's not, like, as athletic as Jet. So, like, that kind of scares me in the NBA. Like, how is Grady going to adjust to that? Yeah. So, I like the pick.
If you're not that athletically talented, right, you have to be super technical and hardworking. Yeah. And I don't know if he's to that level either. Like, you need to be like a Dante DiVincenzo, right? You just work super hard and do the right things at the right time.
Yeah. I think that's, like, what people, like, want Grady to be.
Yeah.
And, like, I think he'll be, like, a good, solid player in the NBA. I just don't think he'll be, like, a star for a team.
He'll be a journeyman, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, maybe he will, but, like, I don't know. Like, unless he, like, starts, like, attacking the rim and, like, because he doesn't really have a mid-range game, too. And it's like, you kind of should if you're shooting that well from 3. But another A team I had was the Jazz. So they had Taylor Hendricks with the 9th pick, Keontae George with the 16th pick, and then Bryce Sensabaugh with the 28th pick, which are all lottery-type talents that the Jazz picked up, which is awesome. I know Keontae, like, his numbers weren't the best. He shot, like, 37% from the field, which is, for a guard, if you look at that, it's like, yikes. But, like, the types of shots he can make are, like, holy crap. Like, his tough shot making ability is, like, off the roof. Okay. He also lost, like, 10, 15 pounds. Like, I think he got a little too skinny.
The NBA will beef him back up. He'll be with the trainers.
But he looks a little, like, I don't know. I think he might have took it a little too far. You have to look it up. Okay. But, yeah, it just looks, like, awkward. People are, like, calling him, like, from It, like, the clown. Like, he looked like the clown.
Damn, that's brutal, man. He's trying his best.
No, yeah. I mean, the Jazz are just trying to build around Lowry.
Yeah.
Colin Sexton. I mean, but they don't have, like, I think Keontae can be that guard for them. They got Walker Kessler that had an unreal season that no one was really expecting. I mean, he made all-rookie first team. Mm-hmm. Was kind of the steal of the draft last year, kind of, if you look back. I think he went, like, late first round.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what pick.
I don't remember the pick either.
But, yeah, I think Taylor Hendricks is also a good guy you can throw at the 4, can pick and pop, can space the floor for the Jazz. I mean, they have Jordan Clarkson, which I feel like he's been in the league forever.
Yeah, he's got to be close to 30 years in or something, or 20 years in.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Jazz, when I was just, watching it and hearing on Twitter and stuff like that, everyone was saying the Jazz were making the best picks that were possible. Mm-hmm. Would you disagree at all? Is there anyone that you think should have went above any of them?
I think, like, I personally, like, Taylor Hendricks probably could have went 6 to the Magic.
Okay.
But, like, I don't disagree with them taking Anthony Black. And I'm trying to see. So, they could have had, of, like, the people I'm seeing, like, they could have taken, they basically took the best player available every time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is awesome, which is very, very good.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, because some teams, you're like, what are you doing? Like, for example, like the LA Clippers took Kobe Brown from Missouri. I love Kobe Brown. I love his game. But I'm like, is he a first-round pick? Like, so.
They could have waited on that one for sure.
Yeah, like, he is like a solid, like, second-round pickup that you could have gotten. But, like, that was the Clippers' only pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But if you, like, look at, like, who they could have picked, they could have picked, like, Colby Jones is the guy that a lot of people had in the first round from Xavier, like James Nagy, 7-footer, 7'5" wingspan from FC Barcelona. He's basically just, like, a guy that can finish around the rim. And, like,
he doesn't have a ton of upside, but what he does, he does well.
And, like, Kobe, like, he's, like, a tank, like, 6'8", 250, like... can dribble, pass, shoot. I mean, he shot like 40% this year, but like the year prior at Missouri, he only shot like 20. Oh, wow. So I guess the Clippers really believe like his shooting is real.
Okay.
And like it looks real, like the form looks really good, and like the shots that he was able to make look like real and like not like, oh, it's just luck, right? Like some guys.
Yeah.
So I hope I think the Clippers are a good fit for him. I mean, they still need a point guard. Mm-hmm. The Clippers are in a weird spot too. Like. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into. We'll go into the Pistons just because I like talking about the Pistons.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Pistons took Asar. Is that how you say it? Asar Thompson at 6th, right? Do they have 6 picks?
Oh,
fifth. My bad.
Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing.
So they took him there. People, especially you, were saying they should take Whitmore. Are you upset that they took Thompson there? And then they had another pick.
Marcus Sasser.
Yes, Sasser. How did you feel about that one as well?
So Marcus, what pick was he picked at?
Because that was in a trade too, right? They traded.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies. Yeah, so the Grizzlies drafted Marcus and then traded him to the Pistons at 25.
Gotcha.
So I think I had him at 25 on my big board actually.
Oh, okay.
Or somewhere around there. Marcus, so like he's 6'2", so a little bit on the shorter side, and like as we know, like with the league trending, like shorter guards don't really play out that well in the NBA unless they're like elite at one thing, and that's defense for
defense
Marcus.
and threes.
Exactly, which the Pistons need.
Yes, 100%.
Like, yeah, so I think he's a great addition there. I mean, he played at Houston, one of the best college programs in the country, can play winning basketball, played under Kelvin Sampson, which is one of the best coaches too. So, like, he's a winner, and I think he's just going to bring that mentality, and he's, like, on the older side, too. And the Pistons are extremely young. So,
yes,
I thought that was a great pickup for them. Everyone just, like, said, like, if Marcus was just, like, 6'6", he would have been a lottery pick, which is so true.
Yeah.
But
I could see that.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, you just gotta live with it, I guess.
But Asar, I think a lot of people think Asar has more upside than Amen, which I can definitely see. I mean, he plays a lot more off-ball. His shooting is a lot more believable than Amen. He actually has a consistent shot.
Yes.
Amen's is, like, different every single time he shoots. And it's also, I think, a better defender than Amen at times.
Okay.
And kind of more, like, poised, too. Like, Amen can get a little frantic and whatnot. Asar's kind of more, like, mellow, which I like. So I thought it was a great pickup. And, like, to go back-to-back as twins, like...
That's really cool. I like that storyline that they were pushing while the draft was going. It's like, oh...
Right?
I think they're the first twins to both go in the lottery.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
That's really cool. That's great.
Back-to-back. But then Amen can always be like, oh, I went before you.
Yes, 100%. He'll definitely hold that over his brother for the rest of his life. But...
Yeah.
It depends on who gets more rings, you know?
True. It's what you do after you get drafted.
Exactly. So, Pistons have a really young core, right? Jaden Ivey, Cade, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart's still pretty young. They're 2 pickups, the Thompson and Strasser, right?
Sasser. Same thing.
I'm messing up.
Same thing.
How do you feel about this team? Because you're high on the Magic. Are you high on the Pistons? You think they're looking all right?
I mean, I like the pickups. I mean, when you look at how they've drafted in the past, I feel like this is one of their like way better drafts.
Okay. I
When you
think
look
since
back at
I forgot his name became the new GM, they've been doing very well in the drafts since like 2019, since they picked Cade. The past,
Yeah. Oh, shit. I forgot his name, too.
yeah,
gonna
we'll
bother
figure
me.
it out a different day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Troy Weaver.
Yes, Torrey Weaver. Yes.
Yeah.
Since he's joined the organization, I feel like their pickups have been amazing in the draft.
I agree,
Just
too.
Now they have to perform. That's the key they're missing. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping Cade stays healthy. They figure something out with the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And pray for the best, I guess, for that team.
Yeah, like, so their starting lineup, I think, would look like, obviously, Cade, Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jern start? I think he makes a chunk
I
of
think so.
A's.
I think so.
Wiseman.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
I
put
forgot
Star
they got
out
Wiseman
there.
as well.
I mean, that's pretty solid.
And then I like Isaiah Stewart a lot. He's that Detroit basketball mentality. Like he'll fight.
Yeah.
He'll fight LeBron James. That
Oh,
was,
God.
that was a
yeah.
crazy moment. I mean, our only two vets are Corey Joseph, which
And Bogdan.
and Bogdan. So
Yeah.
whatever happens with them in the offseason, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I know there's been talks of Bogdan leaving. So we'll see what happens with that. I think they do need another veteran presence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not even vet, just someone who's been in the league 5 to 10 years. So if they get someone that can, play well with the young core and deal with,
Mm-hmm.
all that young energy, I think it'll go well. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think what they'll do is maybe play, with Monty as the new head coach. Maybe play like 20 games, like filling it out, and maybe, when free agency comes, maybe pick up a veteran guy. I don't know who that would be, who would
Yeah.
want to go there.
Yeah. Pistons are on the come up.
You can
Detroit's
try.
on the come up. So
Yeah, and like Ivy and Asar in transition, I mean,
that'd be
gonna be
nice.
fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that team so far. Okay.
I give them an A.
Yeah. A lot of people I saw were like B+, B, A-,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll talk about one more team, the Rockets, and we already kind of spoke about them a few times. How do you feel about their 2 picks?
I think so. I like it. I mean, I think the one place. I mean, they need a point guard first of all,
Yep.
and like a guy that can kind of play off Jalen Green. So like Jalen Green can like obviously shoot and like play off ball and like get buckets other ways. And I also like a man learning behind Ime Udoka.
Yep.
I think that'll be a great fit for him. Hopefully he learns how to shoot a little bit, or like, I don't know, because I don't get how it can look different every single time, and people think that's like okay. I don't know.
I have a
It's
theory
weird.
with shooting in basketball, right? Yes, it's good to have a good technique, right, and be fundamental with it.
Tyrese Halliburton, I can't say too much.
But then there's like Steph doesn't shoot it the way you would want a normal player to shoot it. He shoots from the hip or the mid chest, quick release, and just makes them. Like I would never if let's say you just import someone in who's never seen a game of basketball before, and he looks at Steph's shot and he changes it, he's committing a national crime. Like leave Steph alone. And I feel like there's some players like that where they get in their head of like going through high school, college. They're like, oh, I need to fix my shot. It's like if you can shoot the ball and it goes in 50% of the time, don't change your shot. Like you're fine. And in his case, he does have a weird shot, and it does look different, every once in a while.
Yeah.
But like, if that's how you need to do it, and that's your top 10 draft pick, so.
But he's shooting 25% from 3. And at overtime
But
elite.
I think what it is so many people are in his head about his shot. And he's just shoot it the way you need to shoot it. Put it in the basket. Like, you're not going to fix that shot. It's like Sean Marion or.
Yeah.
You just shoot it the way you need to shoot it, and you'll be fine.
And like Lonzo and LaMelo, I mean, they had that cock to one side, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's true.
But they were good shooters. They still are, but like, it's different, like, if you're a bad shooter, but you're willing to shoot.
Yeah.
I will say. A man is a bad shooter and not willing to shoot the ball.
That's true.
He just goes to the rim every single time and play makes for other people because he's that athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, a lot of people were saying, are they really, like, worth, like, top 10 picks? I mean, because it's hard to judge, like, them. I mean, I think they should have put up bigger numbers than they did in overtime league because they're 20 playing against 17, 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds.
That's true.
When you have everyone else playing, you know, G League basketball, pro basketball, basically, and, like, college basketball.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, God, like,
Yeah,
is this going to translate?
that is going to be, that's going to be the big question. How does it translate? You hope
like,
it's okay.
Yeah, because, like, he's going to be playing against people that are athletic as him, and, like, he's going to be, like, a top 5 athlete in the NBA, right? But, like, I feel like that's going to be a weird transition for him anyway. Yeah. But, I mean, him and Whitmore, I think those are great pieces for the Rockets. They have Auburn Sengun, which is, like, a rising center in the league. He has insane playmaking ability. He's also, I think, underrated. I don't think a lot of people know how good he actually is because he plays for the Rockets.
Yes. That roster, I only know Jalen Green from that roster just because of his crazy highlights. That's all I really know from that team. I need to look more into them. But yeah, the Rockets are rough.
Yeah. And, like, hopefully they're, like, more excited. They have Josh Christopher. I mean, Josh Christopher used to put up, like, I don't know if you watched them, like, the crazy mixtapes in high school. Like,
no.
Ball is, like, insane. Like, he was, like, looking like, I don't even know. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to be, like, the next LeBron, like, yada, yada, yada.
Nope.
You know, he hasn't really, Jabari Smith last year's draft, you know. Kind of found his shooting touch as, like, we went through the season. A lot of people want him to just do a little bit more than just shoot. Yeah. And, like, he didn't shoot, like, the best, which is, like, what he's known for. Tari Eason from LSU last year, kind of like an energizer guy. Yeah,
they have a lot of, like,
good pieces.
Playmaking, running, athleticism.
Yeah,
they exactly. Just need to figure it out.
Exactly. And, like, I think that's why Amen was, like, such a great fit for him because that's just him to a T.
Yeah.
So, like, I would give them, like, a B+ just because I still need to see it, like, work out, like, with my own eyes.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to the more breaking news
sure.
of James Harden?
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, man. So James Harden, within the last 24 hours, I believe, has requested a trade from the 76ers. I'm not sure where he's hoping to land, but I know there's always speculation that he's going back to Houston. Is that where you see him going back to? Do you think, real quick before you answer that question, do you think he waited for the draft to see what the outcome of that was before?
Oh, 100%.
You think so?
James Harden's smart. He's not, like, and he plays his cards very close to his chest.
Okay.
And he's also, like, greedy.
Damn.
So, like, for example, if the Rockets picked, like, I don't even know who would, like, they actually have, like, they couldn't have missed, really.
Yes, yeah.
Like, this draft was pretty stacked, like, on the top half.
Yeah.
But if they picked, like, GG at 4, like, I don't think he goes there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, he doesn't want to babysit anyone.
Yeah. Do you think he wants to go to the Rockets? Do you think that's his number one choice?
I think they have to be in the mix, like the top of the mix. I think James just loves being that guy. I mean, I think we forget that he won MVP, right?
Yeah, he won the MVP.
Okay. I mean, he is, like, one of the most, like, offensive, like, gurus ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he can just score like that is crazy.
No, I've always said that he's been underrated on offense. There was times he was, like, averaging, 30 points that one season? Yeah. 32, 33. Like, he could go off for 60 any given night.
Yeah.
I mean, the offensive system at the time really helped that out. But I think he could do that anywhere. I think he's been holding it back at Philadelphia to try and get Embiid the ball and be more a facilitator. I could see him wanting, to get back into that glory of let me score 40 on you any given night.
Yeah, and, like, in the playoffs, we saw kind of some of it. He dropped, like, 40 twice against the Celtics, and then he was, like, not existent the other games. It's like, what is going on? Like, the 76ers have never been, or they haven't been to the conference finals since 2000.
Wow, I didn't know that. Damn, that's
insane. And, like, I think we were talking about it earlier, like, Embiid's, like, 3-4 in, like, semifinals or, like, in the playoffs. I'm like, oh, God. So, like, I think a lot of people think the 76ers are just going to completely rebuild.
Interesting.
And, like, I hope not, because it's like, we don't need so many super teams. Like, I like it to be competitive. It makes it fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Harden's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's getting older.
A big part of why Harden's leaving is probably Nick Nurse.
Which is weird.
I think he really liked Doc Rivers for some reason, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. And then I know, like, the second day Nick Nurse came into the position, they asked him, like, oh, there's been rumors of Harden leaving. Do you want him to be on the team still? And he was like, yeah. Like, I don't know how to answer. Like, he's like, I don't know how you want me to answer this, but yeah, I like James Harden. And then maybe there's some actual, truth to that question of maybe he doesn't want to deal with Harden and his shenanigans off the court. So I could see him going to the Rockets. I could also see him going to maybe a team like the Bucks. Like, Chris Middleton opted out.
Yeah.
They're a contender.
Where's he going to go?
That's true. Pistons, here we go. No, I don't know. I feel like he'd be a good...
Grizzlies?
Nah, they don't need another... They have Marcus Smart. They have Ja. They don't need...
I'm trying to think. I don't know where he would go.
Yeah, that'd be weird. But James Harden, Bucks, Houston, and then the other spot I had him as a potential is the Spurs. They're a young team, play with generational talent. He could score 40 while Victor's trying to, get his footing.
Let me ask you this, though. If he goes to the Spurs, are they a playoff team?
I think the West is so hard. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I say play-in.
Play-in. Sure, I'll give them play-in. There'll be a top 10 team in the West. The West is so weird, like...
I mean, one game, and then you're like 8th.
Yeah, you can drop so fast. So, yeah, I could see them being a play-in team.
I mean, that'd be fun. I'd be watching the Spurs on League Pass.
Yeah, that'd be a fun team. James Harden and Victor Wembanyama doing what they need to do. That'd be so cool. Any other spots?
Yeah, so I saw one. I don't hate it, but I'm not like, that's definitely where he's going to go. So the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
So the 76ers get Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, and Marcus Morris. And the Clippers get James Harden.
Interesting. The Clippers are such a weird team. I don't even know.
Harden, Kawhi, Westbrook might stay, Paul George. Scary.
That would be very
scary. If they all stay healthy, that'd be fun.
That would be really fun. And you can't even consider it a super team because someone will be sitting
gonna get hurt
for half the season. So you can't even count that.
I think, how Zion's only played, 30% of, his whole NBA career. Mm-hmm. Paul George and Kawhi have only played, 28% together.
Good Lord.
They've missed, 80 games.
That's
or something.
insane.
Something crazy.
I remember, 2015, I was super high on Kawhi. I'm like, oh, he's going to be the next one to take over. And I still think he's one of the better players in the league. But I saw a stat, and I don't know if it's true, and I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but he's had more NBA finals than he's had triple-doubles.
Oh my God.
He's won 2 NBA Finals awards, and he's only had 1 triple-double in his whole career. And I'm like, no way that's true. So I'm going to fact-check that. But if that is true, it kind of puts a new light into what I think of Kawhi. I always thought he was such a dominant player, which he is. But maybe not as dominant as I thought.
He just always hurt, and it's just so sad. I hate when these players get hurt.
Yeah.
I wish injuries weren't a thing. But, I mean, the guy, in his first years for the Raptors, won a championship.
Yeah.
And, they weren't crazy good at all. They had Pascal and Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kyle Lowry now.
Hey.
He got waived.
Yeah, that's tough.
But he's also, 38, so,
Yes, he needs to retire somewhat soon, but...
Yeah. And, I don't know. The Heat, I feel like the Heat honestly might get Fred VanVleet.
I could see that, too, yeah. If they're not pushing for James Harden, I could see VanVleet going there.
Ooh, James Harden with the Heat.
Yeah.
But, no one thought, everyone thought the Heat had Bradley Beal in the bag.
True. And then now there's talks of Suns. Damian Lillard having him in the bag. But he might stay in Trailblazers.
Oh, God. I don't think he leaves.
So if they don't get Damian Lillard, they're still pushing for someone hard, too, and maybe it's James Harden.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be cool.
That'd be crazy. That'd be just what they need, too.
Exactly. 100%. You get
just
all the
a bucket
offensive
getting
fire.
guard. Yep.
Whew, that'd be crazy. They'd be back next year.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Bucks are they need a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, they need Giannis to stay healthy, and they need a guard to support him.
Yeah.
That'll be very, very interesting to see what they do in the offseason. Any other thoughts on the NBA draft before we wrap it up?
Oh, the Thunder. Real quick.
Yeah,
They
we'll go back to Thunder. Yep.
Case and Wall. I know me and you really like watching the Thunder.
Yes.
A lot of people thought the Thunder were gonna like trade up, so
Okay.
they did. They traded with the Mavericks to get 10.
Yes. Yep.
And the Mavericks got Derek Lively, which they needed a big man with size that could protect the rim at technically 12. So they got Case and Wallace, gives you defense. I mean, he's 6'4", another guard. Basically, they think there's a lot of offensive upside to go along with just like his defensive mentality, go along with it. And like the thing with Sam Presti is like if he likes someone, he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
So like I mean the Thunder, I like the addition. And they got Keontae Johnson.
Yep.
Which I like too. I mean, he has one of the best stories ever in college basketball.
Yeah, I agree. He was the one that had the heart collapse or what, I don't even know what happened to him, and then he came
like
back.
collapsed on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy he was he was picked that high up, because I was afraid he was gonna drop.
Yeah, like Trace Jackson Davis. Everyone was like, what's going on? Yep. So yeah, I like the Thunder pick. I give them like an B plus maybe.
They're going to be a fun team to watch. I really hope the Pistons kind of get together. I think they'll be fun. I think the Thunder will be fun, and the Spurs.
Yeah. Where do you think the Pistons finish?
If everyone stays healthy, they're going to be 10th in the East. They'll be in a play-in game.
No.
Yeah. I truly believe if they stay healthy, right? Cade stays.
They cannot be in the play-in.
They're going to be playing. I think if everyone stays healthy, Bogdan does his thing. I think they have a shot. I truly do.
So they would be better. They would be better than the Wizards. I'll give them that.
Yep. Better than Wizards. Better than the
Rockets? I don't
Rockets.
know.
I'm just talking East.
Oh, the Rockets in the West.
Yeah.
I always. They're in Texas.
I think they're going to end up better than the Wizards. Maybe not. Maybe they're still going to be bottom of the East. I don't know.
I don't think they'll finish last.
No, they won't finish last.
Here, it's going to bother me.
What other teams? What other teams are?
All right, so
I think they'll be better. I think they're going to be better than Magic.
I disagree. So the Pistons only won 17 games last year. The Magic won 34.
I think they're going to be better. I think Cade was out for most of the season, and they were just resting players as much as possible.
Yeah, the Bulls were 10th, and given the talent they have, I mean, they're just an actual mess.
Yeah.
An actual shit show.
Yeah, I know they're re-signing Vucevic.
What does that do for you? I don't know.
Who else was at the bottom of the East? You said the Hornets. I think they could. I think they
Pacers.
could be better than the Hornets. I think they'll be better than the Pacers.
I don't think so. I mean, the reason the Pacers dropped, they were in 6th at one point.
Oh, really?
Because Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. And then they just went,
yeah, you're right. If he comes back, that'd be better.
I don't think they finished last, though. I think they beat the Hornets and the Wizards, so there you go.
I think they'll make 10th. I'm sticking to that. We'll make our final predictions for the season as it gets closer.
Yeah.
And we'll do that for an episode, but it'll be exciting. I'm excited for this next season.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun for sure.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us today. If you like the podcast, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. If you listen on Spotify, you can always give us a follow there. And we will be back next week. Noah will be a married man. His wedding is this weekend. That's why he is not with us at the moment. He's prepping for that. And, we'll be back next week. I'm not sure what we'll talk about yet. I'm sure more NBA stuff, maybe go into some MLB, and we'll figure it out. All right. Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Peace.